What's up, everyone? This is Kronos, aka Adam, back with another WWE Week in Review. We have go-home shows for all the programs because we got Takeover tonight, we got SummerSlam tomorrow, I got AEW Dynamite on its special time tonight. I've already dropped my NXT preview and predictions. A link will be at the end of this. And also, today is also DC Fandom, so I'm going to be trying to bang out some of those things, maybe live reacting to some of those trailers that are hopefully being dropped, not the teasers that I've been dropping. But as always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. Social media is down there. I'm going to try and get through this as quickly as possible because I do have my SummerSlam predictions to make and all those other videos, as I just said. So, just so you know, I react and go over everything that happened this week in WWE programming. We got Raw, NXT, and Smackdown. So we're going to just go down the line. So let's start out with Raw. So we get Drew coming out to the ring. Obviously now he's got swords as kind of the beginning of his theme song as opposed to the horns now. No big deal either way. Apparently now Orton's gonna be facing off against a pissed off fire breathing dragon after what he did to Ric Flair. We get some production issues, some camera jumps. At first I thought it was my own TV with the cable, but then it turns out it was Retribution in the production truck. Causing havoc, but it was really stupid because they didn't even realize, which I caught, is when the cameraman goes in and opens the door, there's a guy who's just sitting there and then had to act like he was all jumped up and scared. It was so stupid. But they make someone turn off the feed, they break some stuff, whatever. So the Raw locker room, we come back, the Raw locker room's getting together, kind of like they did on SmackDown. They're going to band together to stomp them out. We don't know if we're going to even get to SummerSlam. Seth comes in. Drew is trying to play kind of the Corbin part or the Big E part, depending on how you want to say it, trying to band everyone together. Seth comes in, playing the Sheamus part, kind of just shitting all over them. Drew's been saying this for 5 years. No one respects Seth. Ricochet says, "Oh, you're going to get that receipt," out of nowhere. I heard that Ray is there tonight. Drew gets in Buddy's face. Okay. So then we get the Hurt Business coming out to the ring. Drew said MVP makes fun of Drew saying that he's organizing the buddy system, which I thought was funny. He calls out Retribution, says they're open for business if Retribution wants to come down, but they're not tough. All you gotta do is follow the money. Who benefits the most? He then blames Apollo, Cedric, Ricochet, and Ali as because he says it's on them, which I think is very weird. Apollo comes out. There was kind of weird shots with the camera guy, almost like he was an amateur, kind of tripping over stuff. I actually thought he was going to end up being a member of Retribution, kind of implanting them, but it just wasn't. It was just bad camera angles. He says MVP is just trying to make excuses. MVP says Apollo fears losing, going back to catering, but Apollo obviously agrees to that. He doesn't want to go back to catering. So he challenges Shelton. If he wins, they'll get to stay in catering during the match at SummerSlam against MVP. Quick match. Apollo hits Shelton with he hits him with the toss powerbomb, and then wins. So Apollo Shelton slides into the ring. I jumped the gun a little bit. So he hits Shelton, slides into the ring. The match happens. Goes for the toss powerbomb first. It's countered into a DDT by Shelton for a 2 count. That actually looked really good. Truth runs through, chased by ninjas. Apollo with the jackknife cover for the win. He doesn't hit the toss powerbomb on him. This is a bad night for Shelton. So Apollo hits the jackknife cover for the win. Ricochet, Cedric, and Ali hit the ring. Lashley needs all of them to get him out of the ring. Truth comes back, catches a boot from Shelton. Shelton pins him for the 24/7 title. MVP says they will not go out again. Challenges him to a 6-man elimination tag. Says to pick 2 of his opponents. So we get Demi and Angel are talking backstage. Ivar comes out, steals her with the turkey leg, invites her to Raw Underground. Ivar accuses Angel of poisoning Montez Ford. Angel knocks the turkey leg out of Demi's hand because he's really upset. And then says, "You better put some respect on my name," Ivar says, and then he does the Thor, puts his hand out, Mjolnir, gets a turkey leg, gives another one to Demi. And then we get a match between Ivar and Angel Garza. He hits a bad cartwheel, almost looks like he falls over, gets pulled down by the beard. Demi's watching backstage to the side. Obviously, they can't ever get that right. Dawkins kind of walks in, starts talking to her. Ivar starts using his power. We get Zelina stops Ivar from doing a suicide dive. Angel with the drop kick to the face for the win. Just a simple drop, like a basement drop kick to the face for a win. I don't get it. Like, you can find so many other ways to not make Ivar look like an idiot and to make Angel Garza look strong. I mean, it's just so dumb. So then we get Dawkins on the Tron. Comes out. Demi's congratulating Angel. Dawkins is busting his balls. Mentions the fact that he was also trying to get up with Charlie. Says that his grandma said you're judged by who you roll with, and they're about to find out some stuff. Angel has no idea what they're talking about. Dawkins says to play some film, but nothing actually gets played. Angel runs to the back. Apparently Joe knows what's going on. He's all excited, being all like cheeky about it. And then Zelina and Andrade come up to him and said, Joe tells Zelina that because of Retribution, WWE is now looking over all security footage, where she kind of looks shocked. Andrade has no idea what's going on. Joe is just laughing it up the whole time, which I think is great. Get a recap of Dominic. We then get back to Demi and Dawkins backstage. Dawkins is getting the digits. Angel confronts them. Charlie comes in and says, "What's on the video?" Video is actually of Selena in front of the cup doing something and then walking away, insinuating that she was the one that poisoned him. Selena says it was Charlie since she's jealous that Angel is going for Demi now. And Charlie's like, what the hell? Tez shows up and they just attack Angel Garza and Andrade and they run off. We then get an Natalya versus Mickie James match. Mickie James' first match in over a year. Why does Mickie first go after Lana? For no reason, in order for Natalya to get the advantage. Lana's taking pics of her getting beat up. We get a Thesz press by James, double clothesline. Then all of a sudden Seth and Buddy come down, and as if like this match doesn't even matter. It's in the background, it's picture in picture, but it's not even being paid attention to. The sound is all for Seth and Buddy. Tom runs off. Tom Phillips, even though Joe was like, don't run off. Seth wants to know how Joe knows Ray is here. Apparently Joe knows everything that's going on. But while this is going on and Seth is trying to get information out of Joe, and Joe is just lapping it up, loving it. Mickie James gets knocked off the corner and Natalya wins by countout. It wasn't even like a bad hit. It wasn't like she was held or anything. She just couldn't get back in the ring. It was so stupid. But then James knocks down Lana and walks off. I felt like they gave her the jobber entrance too in the beginning. They don't even pay attention to her match. This is one of the most decorated female competitors they've ever had, making a comeback, who actually talked about getting gold last week. And then you pair Lana and Natalya together for this kind of whatever storyline, and you basically do nothing with it, and you have like just a BS match. So stupid. Seth gets on the mic, calls Ray and Dominic out. We get, for I guess whenever, Sasha and Bayley versus Shayna and Asuka. We get a Sasha promo airing grievances. Bayley says they can't wait for SummerSlam. Shayna comes out no matter what happens at SummerSlam. She's taking the Raw title next. Asuka's out. Says that Shayna needs to fight with her first. They double team. So then we get into the match. Double team on Asuka. Code breaker on Sasha by Asuka. Nia Jax busts through the plexiglass on Shayna as they fight to the back. Apparently that's okay. But meanwhile, when two people who are not even in the match get into a fight, you call the match. WWE logic. So dumb. We get a hip attack, takes both to the floor. A double toss suplex on Asuka for a 2 count. A Meteora pin combo by Sasha for a 2 count. We get the elbow by Bayley countered into a pin attempt for a 2 count. Backstabber into the bank statement. Shayna is back out of nowhere to break up the pin, which was really cool. We get the hot tag to Shayna, just hitting vicious knees on Sasha. Backstabber into Bayley, into Bayley to belly, but only for a 2 count. Shayna hits a gut wrench into the Cobra to the Karafuda clutch. Sasha breaks that up. Shayna gets the clutch on Bayley eventually, and we get the tap out for the win. So Shayna taps out Bayley. Shayna looked like a beast for a change, not like a punk. Obviously, whatever's happening with Nia, we'll get to that. Get another Dominic recap. Apollo backstage having to choose. So went to 2 of the 3. So we get him basically choose Ricochet and Ali, and Cedric is like, what's going on? Why not me? We're a tag team, me and Ricochet. And the logic is there. Obviously, Apollo said, like, listen, you were just in the full Nelson, and he's acting like he's still in the injury. He was like, I was out for weeks because of it. He's like, just take, tonight, You'll always be there. You'll be in our corner, whatever. And then, Cedric kind of looks a little bummed, but as if he kind of understands. They walk out of frame. Randy then walks into frame for no reason. We get Drew backstage with HBK. He comes to chat with him, only with the NXT hat, no Undisputed Era gear. We need to refocus and kick Randy's head off at SummerSlam. Drew puts over HBK's help when he came to NXT. HBK asked Drew to give him some space when he confronts Randy. Obviously telegraphing, some shit's going to go down. We get the Riot Squad. Iconics come to mess with them. Billy says she can't go against Ruby, so Peyton will do it. They call Liv trash, and that sets off Ruby. And then all of a sudden we see, what's her name? Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke talking to Shayna, who's now just fully in, fully clothed now, no longer in ring gear. Just immediate change. We get a recap of Retribution, what they did. We get Peyton versus Ruby, standing STO by Ruby. Sliding clothesline sends Peyton to the floor, then sent into the barricade. Ruby sent into the barricade. We get a fun splash by Ruby from the apron. Ruby gets pushed into Liv, who gets knocked down, and then Peyton hits her spinning fisherman neckbreaker for the win. Such a pretty move. But then they kind of are looking at each other. Now is there going to be some more dissension between Riot Squad? We get the first look and mention of Raw Underground for the night. We go there. Eric is beating up some NWO Dolph Ziggler. Wins with knees to the face. Shane's interviewing Dolph. Dolph gives the match 4 out of 10. Eric challenges him. Dolph accepts. Dolph eventually gets a choke, eye poke, and then wins. So Dolph beats Eric in a match. That just looks. If ever they're making Viking Raiders look stupid tonight. Ivar loses with a kick to the face, and Eric loses to Dolph in basically a shoot fight. Fuck out of here. Ivar sends him off the stage into the crowd with a pounce. So we end up finding out later on that we're going to get Ivar versus Dolph next week. So Ray's music hits back at the ring. Is out with Dominic. The match itself is now going to be a street fight. Dominic beating made him hurt worse than what happened to him. He'll be in Dom's corner. Dom knew what he was getting into. Seth and Buddy show up on the Tron. Ray's putting his kid in harm's way because he's selfish. That's what Seth says. Mysterio's name will be the ultimate sacrifice. Ray calls him out. They come down, but Ray and Dom leave. So then Ray starts to go around the ring, getting their attention. Dominic comes in with kendo sticks, beats the crap out of him. They beat the crap out of Seth. They try to get him tied up in the ropes, but Buddy eventually gets the distraction so that he can run away. We get MVP approaching Cedric about not being picked. MVP is just stirring the pot, but he says think about the offer while he's in catering. Cedric looks pissed off. We get another look at Raw Underground. Arturo Rujas versus Riddick Moss, which actually was really cool. But eventually they get sent to the outside. They start beating up everybody, the crowd, and then Shane just calls the match as they go out to the out. There was no winner, no loser, no nothing. So. And then, as I forgot to mention, the 6-man tag match was actually going to be an elimination tag match. So it's Hurt Business versus Apollo, Ali, and Ricochet. Lashley comes in, takes everybody out. Dominator on Ali for first elimination within a minute or two. Makes Ali look like a punk. Pay dirt on Ricochet by Shelton for the second elimination. Makes him look like a punk. Toss powerbomb on Shelton for the elimination. Cedric pins Shelton for the 24/7 title. So he's got the 24/7 title. Toss powerbomb on MVP for an elimination. Lashley comes in right away. 3 enziguri, standing moonsault for a 2 count. Spear by Lashley for the win. And it's funny because I actually just realized at that moment that this was the SummerSlam show. For some reason, it just wasn't registering with me. But I made a note about that. Her Business come back to the ring to celebrate. We get Shane talking to Shayna, Maria Shafir, and Jessamine Duke, possibly about competing in Raw Underground. They're obviously all actual MMA fighters. So we get Cedric versus Akira for the 24/7 title. MVP's watching backstage. Akira's doing some ninja power stuff. We get a neuralizer into a lumbar check, and with the lumbar check, Cedric almost dropped Akira on his head. It was really close. It looked bad. Shelton comes in, though, and hits pay dirt to win the title back. MVP will probably say, where are his friends? That's what I'm thinking, that, Cedric will, be like, where were you guys? We get back to Raw Underground. We get a recap of Dolph Eric. Dolph versus Ivar for next week. Shafir is beating the shit out of some woman. Hits this awesome triangle choke that like has like the leg involved in it. It was really cool. Nia comes out to take out Shafir and Duke. Shayna comes in, and then Nia bails, obviously, and then Shane basically just signs off. And so I'm like, I guess that's the end. Like, it felt like there was really no Raw Underground this week. It was kind of really short. We get Andrade versus Ford. Ford comes out hot. Tope con Hilo hits. Ford is crushed on the top turnbuckle. Superplexed by Andrade for a 2 count. Standing moonsault by Ford for a 2 count. Rana from the top rope by Ford. Ford on the top rope for Selena, gets on the apron to distract. Bianca comes down, catches her for a slam when she gets like kind of knocked off the apron. Ford gets the surprise roll up for the win. HBK heading to the ring, greeted by multiple people. HBK out to the ring, hamming it up and loving every second of it. Throws to the Ric Flair recap. He gets emotional talking about Ric Flair. Randy feel he deserves everything. Randy will get his, and then all of a sudden there's an RK out of nowhere, and then a quick pump. This was not like a setup. This was like right away. Drew out. Randy flees. Randy tries for an RKO, but Drew counters. Randy then goes to the outside. He gets sent over commentary. Drew then goes back into the ring. He's not paying attention. I don't know why. All of a sudden, the RKO finally hits. It was really stupid because it just made Drew look like an idiot. Like, you're not paying attention at all. What are you doing? So, that was Raw. Let's see what we're at here. 16 minutes. Okay. We can get to NXT. So, the NXT go-home show for NXT XXX. Ladders and the bell are hung in the rampway. We get Gargano versus Ridge Holland. Pretty much this whole match boils down to one thing. There was a power slam attempt by Ridge, and he drops Gargano on his head, and it was really, really bad and looked really vicious. The match was actually stopped. They obviously, the beauty of camera editing, they were able to kind of make it not look like it was that happened. But Triple H, the trainers, HBK, everybody came out trying to look for to make sure he was all right. He was able to finish the match. Thanks to a distraction by Candice, he's able to hit the one final beat DDT for the win. I mean, Rich Holland is a big dude. He's got a lot of promise, but I mean, that's a simple power slam that you're not supposed to botch, which is really shitty because I feel like they're going to limit what Gargano does in the ladder match. Even though I want him to win. You can just see who my predictions are on my prediction video, but I feel like this is going to really limit what he would be doing in that match. And that just sucks. And obviously you fear for guys like this. He's a small guy. He's one of the best, but at the same time, you don't want him breaking his neck. We get Dakota Kai versus Jessie Kamea. No more Raquel, it seems. That's what I wrote. Jessie was definitely one of the members of Retribution the other day because you could tell with her purple hair. No mention of Retribution on NXT since their appearance, which is interesting. Which makes it seem like they are just NXT talent. Kai is all over Jessie to start. Face wash. Eventually hits the GTK. Pretty simple match. Hits the GTK for the win. Post-match promo going after Io's last promo about Kai being afraid. She'll kick her in the face over and over. Io's music hits. Io takes her down. Kai tries to run, but Io follows her up the ramp to the back. And then as they're going to the back, boom! Catches a boot by who? Raquel Gonzalez. She's back. Big Mommy cool. Io's tossed back into the ring. Shot to Kai, but one-handed powerbomb by Raquel. So Kai is standing tall with Raquel. She's back. They didn't really mention anything. Maybe this was all part of her plan to make everyone think that Raquel was gone and she was on her own. And then gets her heater back. Who knows? Maybe it could have been COVID related. Don't know. Backstage interview with Tegan Knox. She heard Candice's words the other day. Says she wants to salvage the friendship and have a glass of wine like they used to. I don't even know why she would even think that. I mean, Candice is full heel. I mean, this is kind of like what we see on Smackdown as well. When I get to my Smackdown, get a Finn promo. Then we get Legado del Fantasma versus Breezango and Swerve in a 6-man. Breezango no fancy entrance because I think they're really pissed off. All-out fight. Fandango sent to the outside. Swerve takes out LDF. Fandango arm is hurt again. We get Mendoza with a line salt for a 2 count. Fandango hot tag to Swerve. We get stomping out Escobar's in the ring. Leaping flatliner on Escobar. Swerve from the top V-trigger counter by Escobar, which was really vicious. Swerve with the JML driver, but what ended up happening was he got sent into Tyler Breeze, who I guess the ref considered it a tag. Breeze got knocked down to the outside, so when Swerve hits the JML driver, he's not the legal man. They double team on Swerve, sends him out. Eventually, Breeze comes in, catches a Phantom driver for the win for LDF. Still no idea if there's going to be a Cruiserweight title match. I don't think so at this point, but LDF will be in the number one tag team contenders triple threat at Takeover. So we get McAfee arriving with AJ Hawk, Darius Butler, and I believe the guy that he worked with on his podcast with, who got shoved by Adam Cole, because they never mentioned his name. Regal makes the number one tag team contenders match, LDF Breezango and Birch and Lorcan. I went over that in my preview and predictions. Undisputed Era music hits, so they get no fanfare, they don't do the boom, the Adam Cole Bebe, they just call him out. He comes from the back, Pat McAfee with his guys. Let's see. He calls out Undisputed Era, saying he knew he would come out with everybody. Adam Cole tells everyone to leave the ring. Bottom line, McAfee outsmarted him in his own house. McAfee just has an absolute fire promo. This was awesome. Says it took 1 minute to knock his ass out. He made $1 million in 7 different professions. Don't make me make this an 8. Only if he wants to. He mocks Triple H on for the challenge. Someone screams wide left, which I thought was funny. Cole approaches him. Security try to stop him. He takes them all out. Pat looks a little shook. They get a standoff with all 8 of everybody. Cole gets in his face, says he'll make him his bitch. He leaves. This was awesome. This actually made me more excited for this match, which I really wasn't at first. This was really cool. So then we get Aaliyah and Mercedes Martinez versus Rhea Ripley and Shotzi Blackheart. Blackheart all over Aaliyah. Martinez takes control on Blackheart. Butterfly suplex on Blackheart for a 2 count. Big DDT by Blackheart gives her the hot tag to Ripley. Electric chair facebuster on Aaliyah, broken up, pinned by Martinez. We get the Riptide on Aaliyah, but Stone is distracting. Martinez crotches Blackheart. Ripley is posted, power bombs Martinez over the barricade onto the floor. I mean, this was obviously onto a crash pad. The camera cuts, but basically Ripley just tried to murder Martinez, which obviously she has the motivation. Martinez ruined a shot at her getting being the number one contender. We get the top rope senton by Blackheart on Aaliyah for the win, though. But obviously, this is really more about Ripley and Mercedes Martinez. There's nothing announced for for Takeover. I hope they actually stretch this out a little bit. You don't want to overload, even though there was another match that was which was announced after my prediction, so I'll talk about it here once we get to it. We get the main event, which is Finn versus Dream. So the last spot in the ladder match, Dream goes under the ladder, which I thought was a little foreshadowing. It's an even match, even through the picture-in-picture. Dream with the Thez press and is doing Too Sweet, calling out Wolfpack. Dream takes advantage. Finn starts to make a comeback, but Dream hits top rope guillotine. Grimes comes out, he gets on the ladder, holding the title. Muched? I don't even know I don't even know what that is. Finn with the basement dropkick, DDT countered into a elbow, kind of slop drop. Basement dropkick by Finn. Finn's arguing with Grimes. Superplex by Finn. Gargano tips the ladder. Grimes falls into the match, takes out the ref. Both take out Grimes. Reed's out. Priest shows up behind Gargano. We get Reed and Priest toss Gargano out. Priest super kick by Dream. Tope Conhilo by Finn on Reed and Priest. Thatcher takes out Finn. And then there's a purple Rainmaker. The ref gets up for the win. So now Dream will be the last person. There was a match that was made between Finn and Thatcher for... that was done yesterday after I did my video. I don't understand what's going on with Finn, because now it's just basically everyone just takes him out and then he has a match with them and then beats them and then that's it. Because he did that with Priest. I mean, he had his little thing with Gargano for a while, even though that didn't really come to fruition. He had the thing with Cole, but none of these are really like taking. Like I thought, getting him in a ladder match for the North American title or putting the title on him would have been really cool. They didn't. Then we get everyone getting their hits in. It's kind of like almost like a Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, blah, 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 WWE finish. Everyone's touching the title. Eventually, Reed stands tall, is the last man standing with the title in his hands. We go off the air. That is NXT. Let's see where we're at now. Not bad. Okay, now we go to Welcome to Thunderdome, bitch. The Thunderdome premiere. So let's see what happens. So first look looks pretty good. The effects with the Smackdown theme, pretty cool. The LED boards look cool. Vince is in the ring to start. Using the tagline, "You'll never see it coming." LED boards. All of a sudden, then the lights go out. It's the Fiend. So that was really interesting. I was like, oh shit! Like they're really starting this out hot. But Vince not looking really scared. I know he's he owns the company, but Fiend don't give a fuck. So there's a stare down. He's not letting Vince leave. All of a sudden, Braun's music hits. Vince just fucking teleports out of the ring. He's gone. The lightning, the lasers was getting a little bit much. The lights start to flicker. Retribution surrounds the ring. Now there's like a ton of them. Braun and Bray are like laughing and smiling at each other. Fiend waves. The lights go out. Come back. He's gone. Braun's still there. They attack him. They take him out. The locker room empties, but Retribution's able to handle them. Then the second wave comes. They're able to get everybody out. Someone's mask almost came off. You could tell one of them was almost guaranteed to be Dijak. Miz hilariously in late. What I did find, someone said, which obviously not mine, but that if imagine he was the leader of Retribution, that would be funny and interesting as well. Let's see. Braun then is trying to get out. Like Gulak was like, it was like enough. Like it was so telegraphed. Gulak kept like tapping him like, "Hey, are you okay? Oh, are you okay? Oh, are you okay?" Like over and over again. Like just wait till he gets up and then do that. So he takes out Gulak, throws Uso over the ropes, and then leaves. We get Big E versus Sheamus. Apparently this was supposed to be later in the match, later in the day, but they decided to go at it now. Locker room is still out there, almost like a lumberjack match. They're kind of watching to make sure. Sheamus with the shoulder tackle into the stairs. Big E splash on the apron. We get the 10 beats, the Irish Curse backbreaker, all the bells and whistles of a typical Sheamus and Big E match. The lights flicker into the commercial break, but nothing happens. We get 3 belly-to-bellies and a splash. Pump knee by Sheamus. Hits him flush for a 2 count. Uranagi in the corner on Sheamus for a 2 count. He goes for the running spear, misses. Another 10 beats, but it's countered into a big ending attempt. Big E gets posted. Sheamus hits white noise. And then Corbin decides to just go after Riddle, even though they were talking shit against each other the whole time. So then he goes after Riddle. Then Riddle, but for some reason Sheamus is distracted by this and then gets rolled up for the win. Made no sense because like Sheamus, like, dude, what are you doing? Nobody cares about you. I mean, no one cares. You don't care about this stuff, so why? You got distracted once before because of this bullshit. Heavy Machinery is dancing in the ring to celebrate. That's the only thing that Otis has done does the entire episode. Still Money in the Bank holder for whatever reason. Back in the trainer's room, Hardy is selling a knee. Said someone attacked him, but he didn't see. Asking for a knee brace over and over again. Lucha House Party attacked from behind by Shinsuke and Cesaro before their match. But so then we get the San Diego, the SmackDown Tag Team Title match: Cesaro and Shinsuke versus Lucha House Party. Super Kalisto out with them. Shinsuke with great gear and jacket. I thought it was really cool. Metalik with a great tilt-a-whirl head scissors on Cesaro. Tries again. Cesaro hits a powerbomb for a 2 count. Miz and Morrison do like a promo, which was super corny. Hot tag to Lindsay. Super kick, trifecta moonsaults. But the pin is broken up by Cesaro. Cesaro head scissored out of the ring. And then Metalik just like jumps over the top rope, clears the rope, and tries to like do like a head scissor. And Cesaro, for his credit, sells it, but there was no reason to do it. He should have just sold it that he just caught him for a power bomb, because Metalik, that looked rough. That he just basically took a back bump over the top, kind of like what Ford did that one time. So we get the springboard stunner by Shinsuke. Cesaro then gets a like kind of a victory roll counter pin for the win. And then Lindsay and Kalisto, Megan Kalisto, are just absolutely going at it and pushing, and Metalik is trying to break them up. So I didn't understand what they're doing here with this. So we'll see. Party's still being worked on in the back. We get a recap of Retribution. Turns out that AJ was the one who attacked Hardy, just basically just kicked him in the back of the leg. AJ's like all happy about it, says he wasn't showing urgency. I was showing urgency to get rid of Retribution, and if Jeff Hardy showed urgency, he would have got kicked in the knee. Okay, Hardy. He says Hardy's always wasted his career wherever he's gone. He then starts to walk to the ring. He sees Sasha and Bayley. They all bump titles, celebrating. We get a Mandy backstage interview. They're like kind of dancing around what ended up happening with Sonya Deville, which is absolutely awful. Thank God her and Mandy were okay, because Mandy was actually the other person there. But they're kind of kayfabing it like something happened to Sonya, but Mandy wasn't the one. It's kind of weird, but they're not saying exactly what happened, obviously. But she's speaking directly to Sonya, saying that she still sees the good in her, says she wants to put it all behind them. What? Okay. I mean, that just makes no sense. Sasha and Bayley out to the ring, interview with Corey. Right away, Corey asks if they're splitting up. They're like, ding dong, hello, no. Bayley's great. They're the ones capable of carrying the two belts. They're the only ones. They're getting mad at Corey for trying to stir the pot. Almost a little dissension when it comes to who will fight first. Sasha's like, wait, are you volunteering me again? Naomi's music hits. She just offers to face them both tonight. Corey suggests a beat the clock challenge. I was like, my first thought was like, so Naomi deserves better, and she's going to get beat twice in one night? Like, who, okay. Sasha versus Naomi. Essentially, Sasha hits gets the bank statement in 3 minutes and 39 seconds. Bayley immediately attacks. The ref kind of pushes him away, gives Naomi a chance to kind of catch a breath. We then get Bayley versus Naomi. Bayley in control with 2 minutes left. Naomi uses the rear view, which is basically like an ass attack, for the win. So ridiculous. Like, this is your champion, your longest reigning SmackDown Women's Champion, and she gets knocked out by an ass of someone who just wrestled right before. Like, I get the Naomi deserves better and she deserves, some actual shine, but this just made no sense. This actually just made me not want anything for Naomi, because, I just don't care. Like, why? It just makes Bayley look stupid. And so, but obviously Sasha was, all smiles when this was going on. Asuka's music hits, does a promo in Japanese, but then says she'll be the empress of every title. And then Sasha goes out to the ramp, kick to the face, goes to the ring, Shining Wizard, and then a beatdown on Bayley in the ring. Bayley bails, grabs her title, runs up the ramp, doesn't even check on Sasha. Eventually does come back and check on Sasha. So Hardy finally gets his knee braced. He can barely walk. The doc is like, well, if you can manage, I'll clear you. I'm like, this guy can barely walk. Like, he's literally barely putting any weight on it. The refs, the doctors, I mean, there's just no kind of continuity in any way, shape, or form. It's so ridiculous. We get a Sonya backstage interview with a wine-colored, amazing-looking, John Wick-style suit. Only she's not going to say it to Mandy. She's going to say it to the world. Dana comes in. Oh, my God. What happened to you was not right. I'm so sorry. And then Sonya just slaps her in the face and says, disrespectful. This just looked awesome. Sonya comes out, says, responding to Mandy, says, oh, you're second-guessing your challenge just like I thought you would. What do you want? You're going to face her one way or another. Let's up the ante. Obviously, I don't care what I look like bald. How about this? The loser leaves WWE. Bring your A game, bitch. Just fire promo. I'm really interested to see what they do with this now, because I think hair versus hair is now off the table. It's a no DQ. Loser leaves WWE. I know maybe it could be that Sonya's looking for some time off after everything that happened. It could be that, there's been rumors that she has some kind of Hollywood projects in the works. Maybe she goes to NXT. But an interesting theory that I've seen floated around, which I think would be really awesome and makes sense, is that Sonya wins, and instead of Mandy leaving WWE, Otis comes out and gives the briefcase to Sonya in order to save Mandy's job. Now, whether or not that means that Mandy is, going to swerve him and be in on it, or if, they're, that just strengthens them, because, I mean, they've literally done nothing with Otis. I mean, you almost forget that he has Money in the Bank. Both Money in the Banks have just been a memory at this point. Obviously, Asuka's was a little different because of everything that happened with Becky. But that would be really cool. And then if Sonya was to cash in on that night, that would be wild. I mean, you'll never see it coming. That's the tagline, so you never know. Recap of Braun, Bray, Alexa, previously on Firefly Funhouse. Ooh.
What would you like to play next?
Shut up. So we get a Nikki interview saying that she's spoken to Bliss, and it kind of scares her. She's not the same person. She has a feeling something bad is about to happen. We don't see her at all. So obviously there's going to be some kind of involvement at SummerSlam. It's got to be. We get our Intercontinental title match, AJ versus Hardy. Brian with a Zoom call in, shitting all over AJ. Hardy can barely walk. This doc is definitely a quack. AJ goes right after the knee, rips the pants to expose it. Hardy's hanging around though. AJ with the calf crusher. Hardy able to get to the ropes. Eventually, the knee brace comes off. Hardy hits him with the knee brace, hits the twist of fate, the swanton, and Hardy is the new IC champ. And I'm like, okay, like that, I don't know. And then there was a post-match promo where he's out of breath, he can barely talk. Obviously, he has to mention like everything he's gone through and to overcome. And then like the Oscars, they play his music, and he's just like, oh, I guess I gotta go. You know, like it was just really weird. AJ's yelling at Joseph Park, saying Hardy cheated. So obviously, we're gonna get another rematch there. Whether or not we get it at SummerSlam, I don't know yet. Firefly Funhouse. Then we get picks are all of Braun still. Love can be a terrible thing. Got a call from his Hurt Glove, so he's listening to it. His own movie of Braun and Alexa. He has Huskus as Braun and Ramblin' Rabbit as Bliss. All of a sudden they're like talking. They're about to like kiss. Braun cuts in, goes like, "That's not how it went down. Like, what the hell are you doing? Be more like the Fiend. Channeled the rage." And then he goes, "What took you so long?" And then Braun shows up and attacks. Drags Bray off camera. But like Corey is like, we haven't found the entrance. We've been trying to figure out how to get into the Firefly Funhouse for so long. Seth did. Seth burnt it down, remember? It's not that hard. It's literally backstage. There's probably not even a door. So stupid. Backstage, they're fighting. We got to get our cameras there to show you what's going on. I don't know why. Killing time. Braun with an awful looking fake choke slam off the loading dock. Bray just does not sell it at all. We get everyone's calling for ambulance, and it's like it's so like just long and just like drawn out. Come on, what are you guys doing? Come on. And then the EMTs can barely get him on the stretcher. They pick him up. They don't put him on a board. It just looks like amateur hour. At first I thought maybe they were Retribution because it was like they're not real EMTs. But no. I don't know what that is. So then we get, then they get him in finally, and then Adam Pearce is like, "Come on, go," and then like it stops. He's like, "What are you doing? Come on!" And then it starts coming back, and then we get this shot of him with everyone in the foreground, like all like whatever. The lights in the back of the ambulance turn from blue to red, and then they pan back to the ambulance, and there he is, the Fiend, in the back of the ambulance, goes with his tongue and like goes, "Let me in," laughing or whatever, and then we leave. That's it. So that was SmackDown, and that's for the go-home shows for WWE for SummerSlam. As always, I do my match of the week. There wasn't very many matches, so I'm actually going to give it to the tag match of Sasha and Bayley versus Shayna and Asuka. This was great for Shayna. She looked awesome. Even getting the stupid Nia stuff out of the way, she would just look like an absolute beast. Obviously, whenever these... they're all some of the best that WWE has, so any combination of them puts on a great match. Obviously, a lot of stakes involved, and supremacy and momentum going into SummerSlam. So I really like this match. I really thought it was great for Shayna. Hopefully, this means that whatever doghouse she might have been in for a while is now over, and she will get the push that she deserves. So there you have it. That's my WWE Weekend Review. As always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. Social media's down there. I have my NXT XXX number 30 preview and predictions. I have my now WWE Weekend Review. I'm going to do my SummerSlam predictions. I'm going to do some stuff for DC Fandom if I can. I'm going to do my best to kind of get all that together. So as always, be safe, love each other, and bye now.